Hola a todos. Bienvenidos a Seville. That accent's getting a little better. That's about all I could say. Anyway, welcome back to Seville, day 22. I'm standing on a pretty busy street, so my apologies for all of the edits in the video. But what I wanted to do today was talk about some travel tips. I don't often do that, but today was a bit of a slow day. I managed to see a couple of churches, which were very nice, and I managed to go visit the old wall. But unfortunately, one of the churches didn't allow for photography, so I've got really nothing, nothing prepared. So I did think about a couple of the travel tips, and one of the things that a few people asked me about is how I manage my money, right? And what do I do? Do I bring a lot of cash and that kind of thing? And to be honest, I don't. I mainly use my credit card because the credit card, I've got a Visa, has got the best conversion rate. So I basically just let my credit card company handle the conversion rate because they're a lot better. You definitely do not want to use any of the local currency converters. It's funny, they all have signs that say like no commission and that. And sure, they might not have commission, but they have service fees and they have outrageous conversion rates, right? So you never want to do that. You always want to use a bank whenever possible. And in particular, these ATMs, never use them as well. Because again, it's not about commission fees. It's about the service fees and any number of other ways they can take money from you, right? And these sometimes charge like 10, 20 euros just to pull out money. And then you get hit by your own bank because you're not within the bank system. On this street, the cathedral is right there. So of course, it's filled with ATMs. There's one behind me here and then two more over there. Well, what's interesting is there's an actual bank right here, and that's what you want to use. Because it's the banks that won't charge you that initial service fee. Like, don't get me wrong, your bank is definitely going to charge you money. They're going to charge you service fees, but if you use one of these, they charge you a service fee, they charge you a conversion rate, and then your own bank charges a fee. And like I said, the secret is to just find a bank. And it's hard to identify them when you're a foreigner because you don't know what the local banks look like. What you want to look for is an office, is some branding, is some, recognition of like a bank, like maybe the ATMs inside, rather than this shady little thing right beside a building. What's amazing is when I was in Venice, there were these ATMs all over the place because they're tourist traps, right? Like they're trying to get you. And admittedly, you have to pay for convenience, right? And that, it's hard to take, but it, I guess, makes sense from a, capitalist standpoint. I mean, anyway, the point is there in Venice there were all kinds of these things, but just around the corner was a bank with a bank machine, and I used that all the time. Didn't get paid, didn't get charged any service fees locally. My bank would charge me a little bit, and that was it. I'm not going to try to pretend to know anything about banking. I don't know who's taking the service fees out of what, but I just know that if you find a bank, you will definitely pay a lot less money. And realistically, in Europe, the last few trips that I've taken, it's not really, they often prefer cards, right? Even in the market and that they have, I see a lot of Google Pay and Apple Pay and people just paying with their phones. Like it's very, very advanced as far as like technology and the money transferring and that. So my advice to you is take a little bit of cash so that you have that option. Sometimes you find a little small market or a small store that would prefer it. But for the most part, just bring a credit card, pay with your credit card, pay with a bank card. You will need each with the tap and definitely a chip in case that doesn't work, because you will definitely not see anywhere around here those old swipes and that kind of thing. So just a little bit of advice. some of the knowledge that I've learned from the travels over the last few years. And I'm going to get off this busy street because I keep getting interrupted. So I'll see you in a sec. I should have been here the whole time. It's a lot quieter, somewhat quieter. Plus, it's another great example. This is one of those ATMs. It even has a change house, but a bank, like an actual branch bank, is right here. So you would save quite a bit of money just by using the ATM over there or going inside. So the takeaway, and I hope all the interruptions and everything with all the edits and noise, I'll sum up. Find a good ATM, a bank. Look for branding, branches with an office inside, kind of thing, and use your credit card or your bank machine because they're going to give you the best rate, the best exchange rate, and most of the shops want you to use the cards anyway. If you're even more advanced technologically, use your phone. Google Pay, Apple Pay. You see it all over the place. The locals, that's what they use. Often, like I saw so many people using their smartwatches, their Fitbits, all that stuff, which is really interesting and cool that they're really taking advantage of all that. Now, the one caveat though, you do want to check it out before you go to see whether or not this holds true. I'm coming to a town and with a lot of touristy places, a lot of infrastructure involved. If you're going to a small town, like say you're going for a road trip in Tuscany and stuff, definitely want to bring some cash. Okay? But again, don't pull your cash out at the airport. Don't pull it out in one of these ATMs. Find yourself a bank, and you should be fine. Or don't. I mean, you got to do what you got to do, right? How much, if you can't find an actual bank, how much is your time worth? How much is the hassle of all that stuff? Like, I get it. Like, I don't want to be judgmental. This is just, some free advice based on experience and all that. So with that, I got to run because I haven't eaten, and I think the empanada store closes at 10:30. So I'm going to run and get some empanadas so I can have something for dinner. And I hope everyone out there is doing well. I hope you've eaten. I hope you're planning on your adventures because I can't recommend Seville more. I'm only here for another week, and it should be quite an eventful week. So with that, we will talk about it more tomorrow. Hasta mañana. Good night, everyone.